Surflings, how are we today on a Friday? It's good to see you today. I hope that you are all well, happy and good, and with the storm coming. Getting lots of rain, gonna get lots of rain. We'll talk about that and much more. Gilly is out in Escambia County. And for what? What did she do? And we'll talk about that and maybe we get Sheetler to do the same thing. I don't know. Risers, welcome to the program. It's Friday. That's right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome. Telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. And bless you. Glad you're here. Thank you to Milk Post. Thank you to Jurgen's Landing. Everybody that shares it, God bless you. That makes it good. So welcome to the program. I feel a little out of sorts this morning. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm askew. Good to have you with us. So, Kathy was her name yesterday that called in. She told me to stop lying. Stop telling lies, she posted later on the thing after the show was done. Stop posting lies or stop telling lies. Stop exposing yourself to media that is not accurate. CNN, MSNBC, stop polluting. Stop listening to the Joe Biden administration. Oh, by the way, they're calling for a cognitive review of Joe Biden after watching his antics over the last week. That ought to be interesting. Should be very, very interesting. All right. Good to have you with us today, Jeremy. I don't know the hair or what. I'm glad that you're here today. All right. Let's do this thing. Your forecast today, overcast with rain showers at times. High near 84. Chance of rain 70%. There is 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. Tonight, rain, potential for heavy rainfall, low around 75. The chance of rain 90%. Rainfall may reach an inch overnight. And then for Saturday, I'm going to go through the whole weekend. Saturday, becoming windy with thunderstorms likely. Rainfall be heavy at times. Potential for heavy rainfall. High near 79. Chance of rain 100% tomorrow. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected tomorrow. Saturday night, thunderstorms likely. Potential for heavy rainfall. Low near 75. Chance of rain 90%. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected overnight Saturday night. And then for Sunday, thunderstorms likely in the morning. Then a chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, high near 85, chance of rain 70%. So we are going to get right around 6 inches of rain. Oh, joy. It's a good weekend to stay inside. Stay in your jammies, drink some coffee, and chill out. Yeah. But anyway, your present temperatures, 75 in Milton. It's 80 in Gulf Breeze, 79 in Navarre, and 78 in Pensacola. Welcome. All right. About what? Oh, Kathy would not recognize the truth if bitter in the butt. Could be. Get the floaties out. Yeah, you're going to need something. Sandbags. They got sand available. Get your sand if you need it. Secure the barges. That is correct. We just got this thing fixed. We don't we don't need the barges cutting loose, do we? 850-771-0049. Good call. Let's see where we're at here. Expected impacts from what will likely be Tropical Storm Claudette have not changed. Heavy rain is likely at times across our entire area this weekend, with a pronounced risk of flash flooding. A few tornadoes may be possible across the area, both coastal and inland, on Saturday and early Sunday. Gusty winds will be possible in the immediate beach zones, but widespread damage is not expected. All coastal hazards, including minor storm surge, minor coastal flooding, high waves, and dangerous rip currents are expected. Stay out of the water. It's going to be raining. Tropical storm warning for Alabama coast and West Point and points west. A tropical storm warning has been issued from intercoastal city, Louisiana, eastward to the Alabama-Florida border, including coastal areas of Baldwin, Mobile counties in southwest Alabama. So there's lots of rain coming our way, some wind. Just be cautious. Make sure that you are being safe. Romy says, tropical storm warning issued for coastal Santa Rosa, Gulf Breeze, Baghdad, Navarre. I know. It's going to be a wet one. It's going to be a wet one. But at least you can stay inside. Just get inside, shut the doors, and relax. Play a board game. Binge watch some movies or whatever. If your internet's working, you can do that. All right. Gulf Islands National Seashore will close the Fort Pickens area beginning June 18th. That's is that today? Today. Due to severe weather approaching the Northwest Florida area, a mandatory evacuation of the Fort Pickens campground will begin yesterday. It began yesterday afternoon. All campers and staff are expected to leave Fort Pickens area by noon today. All campground reservations will be postponed or canceled through Sunday. The severe weather is anticipated to cause flooding of roads. You know, it does there. They are going to be monitoring Opal Beach and Perdido Keys as well. This came up at the BOCC meeting yesterday, and I want to do this because this is rather interesting and disturbing. So this gentleman lives in an area, Pace, where he gets flooding. His house floods. He's voicing his concerns about flooding issues ahead of the heavy rains forecast for the area. Now, I want you to hear him. Now, he is passionate. He's not disrespectful. He just wants some answers. But it's not really what he is saying. It is how Dave Peach responds to him. And I want you to see this, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Pumps, and we discussed the pumps. And she said what she would do is she would contact Rebecca Jones, the engineer, and have her review that to see if that's a viable mitigation solution for us over there to get a pump for pumps to handle water when we get these big rain events. I never heard anything back. Never heard a word. So I'm talking to the county engineer on the 4th of this month. I'm talking to the county engineer, and the county engineer says, well, I went all through the pump business and why it would work. I've discussed it with another engineer and said, yeah, that'll help. It'll help mitigate it, get some of that water out of there before it floods us, goes over Berry Hill Road, floods the houses on the other side of the Berry Hill Road. You know, the whole damn disaster we've got over there. And she said, well, in final analysis, I'm going to have to ask Amy Tootle, what we can do about the pumps. So the county engineer is going like this, the director of public works is going like this, and nothing is getting done. I listened to that lady that was talking to you guys about that building up in J. and the numbers she was throwing out for that building, for those buildings up there, to save those buildings. A pump that'll pump 1,250, they're right in Pensacola. United Rental has these pumps. They're on wheels, they're big pumps, they're automatic. They put a thing on them, and when the water reaches a certain level, it starts pumping. A pump that'll pump 1,250 gallons a minute, which I think we'd need a bigger one than that, is $6,000 a month for one of those pumps. I don't understand. It's a pittance. The county apparently has the ability to dig out that retention pond and make it bigger. I've talked to the West Florida Water Management District. They have ways of expediting any permits or anything that you need to do that, and nothing's getting done. It's been 9 months.
And nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done. I've been waiting on this. I've been asking. We've been flooding. What is going on?
Okay, sir. I have both our engineers here, so.
Huh?
I have
Okay, now listen to this. This is Dave Peach responding.
engineers here. I'm going to let them answer your question because we're well aware of what's going on.
Yeah, we just want somebody to do something.
Sir, and they are doing something. I want to hear from them. I've got flooding all over my district. It doesn't happen overnight, sir. We have to look at these things holistically. So
Stop your whining. Stop your whining. We've got flooding everywhere. So what makes you so special? Do you get it?
my engineers, I appreciate your input. I would like to have the Public Works Director.
I've heard from you. I want to hear from somebody who's an expert. You don't know anything. Do you get the attitude, the tone of his voice, and the way he's responding?
Engineer was sitting right behind you, respond to your questions.
Good.
Good. And the man's good. I want to hear from him. Let's hear from him. But Peach was out of control on this. He was way over the top. And he talked down to this gentleman. Yeah. I don't know if it's I don't give a crap. I think it's just man, it's so undignified that you talk to somebody like that and you talk down to them. And Dave Peach is talking down to this man. Dave doesn't know his butt from wet paper bag. Okay. This man does have real issues. He does. They've been suffering every time it rains really hard. They have a problem and they won't do anything. And this is what they're supposed to do. And they keep kicking it down the road. I know. The guy is a property owner. He does pay their salary and they don't care about, man, sir, we got flooding all over the place. What? You are not special. And the man did come up with some legitimate concerns and legitimate answers. I love people who, when they come to the table, we have an issue. I've researched some things. Here are some suggestions. He came up with some suggestions. Affordable suggestions. I know it's not taking over a building in J and repairing it, but do you get the tone? If someone spoke to you that way, what would your initial reaction be? Yeah. Yes, Christine. But what would your reaction be if someone spoke down to you that way? Become a legitimate concern. What is being done? I want to know what's being done. And he talked down to him. His neighbor was a disaster. Yeah. Because the county didn't do anything then, and they still haven't done anything. They're still taking his tax money. If you're not doing anything, I want my tax money back. I want to live tax-free in Santa Rosa County because you aren't doing anything for me. Taxation without representation. So you're not getting any more tax money. I'm not sales tax, nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm afraid of what would happen. I've been looking like I know. It would leave you feeling frustrated and infuriated. Well, insulted as well. Beach was a nightmare helping us with the what is that? The RAK construction. He sided with the contractor. Of course he will. Of course he will. These guys are. Dave Peach is such a disappointment. He's such a disappointment. High hopes, had high hopes, but he's a disappointment. 850-771-0049. I don't think that he needs to publicly apologize to that gentleman. Yes, yeah, his lack of concern is terrible. And just the tone and the condescension as he spoke to this gentleman is over the top. And Peach needs to publicly apologize to this man. Start a petition. Well, they're on it. They're on it, Christine. It is a thing. Now, on that subject of replacing them, there is this thing in Escambia. The Escambia County Administrator, Janice Gilley, was voted out yesterday. Her job was terminated, or her position, she was terminated immediately, effective immediately. Now, she did walk away with $71,000, 20 weeks of pay, but so here is this woman who she put out her list of accomplishments, which is impressive. It's impressive. My question to you, now they voted 4-1. Doug Underhill is the only one that said, no, she doesn't need to go. The rest of them did. The rest of them, Prakash, he did. Everybody except Underhill. It wasn't that she didn't do her job. It was that the union didn't like her. ECAT. Now, I wonder whose pockets they're lining. Legitimate question. But Gilley's out. And I'm getting to that, Katie. That's where I'm building up to. This woman, Gilley, did not lie to the citizens. She didn't miss a deadline, an important deadline. She didn't lie multiple times. She did her job. And she's out. Why is Schiebler still in office? Why is Schiebler still employed? Janice Gilley didn't lie. Didn't lie multiple times about the same thing. She didn't lie multiple times about not doing her job. Absolutely. But they got to get rid of the dead weight first, and that dead weight is Schiebler. It is crazy, Donna. It is crazy. Look at the difference between Santa Rosa and Escambia. Now, I know Santa Rosa is not Escambia. I get that. But we are neighboring. We do all kinds of things together. We got people that live in one and work in the other, and you know. But why is it that this woman, who has done really nothing wrong, it's just that the union disagreed with her, and she's out, but Dan Schiebler, who blatantly, and we have it on video, it's documented, lied to the people of Santa Rosa, is still employed. Anybody? Does anybody have an answer for that? I don't get it. The union needs to go then. Well, yes, the union does need to go. Throw out the old paperweights, holding down the chairs with the new ones. I got you. But this to me is really interesting. The one who needs to go in these two counties still sets with his job secure. His job secure. He is not in danger of losing his job. Even though the citizens have called for it, he's not losing his job. This woman did her job. Just because they didn't like it doesn't mean she didn't do it. She did it. And now she's gone and Schiebler sets secure. Do you find that interesting? No lies, no missing deadlines. She just did her job. She ought to cry sexism. She ought to scream sexism. Make them pay or whatever. I'm just done with stupid people. We can't contact the attorney or Governor DeSantis. Yeah, you can. It's a form of bullying. I don't know. Could be. The union needs to go and she needs to be reemployed. But it's the commissioners. The commissioners voted her out. The union just voted no confidence in her. The commissioners could have went, but nope. They buckled. They caved. They caved. And you've got commissioners in Santa Rosa that just ignore, which I feel is a criminal act, lying to the, and I feel it's a violation of his contract, lying to the people of Santa Rosa. Look, the what's the letter of reprimand that they gave Schiebler had nothing to do with the lies. It was all about missing the deadline. And what are you going to do so that it doesn't happen again? What are you doing about the lies? That's what we want to know. Holy smokes, people. Do you get how weird this is? 850-771-0049. I just feel sorry for Janice Gilley. I feel sorry for the man that they spoke down to at the meeting. These people are out of control. There you go. There's a map of what's expected. Nice, huh? That's your weekend. Oh, my. Once a liar, always a liar. Talking about Dan Schiebler. Yes. And he got away with it. He got caught, but he got away with it. It doesn't make a difference. Oh, my word. Oh, Escambia County held a job fair on Thursday. They want to fill dozens of jobs that are up for grabs. They got 300 open. 300 open positions at Escambia County. There are 300 vacant positions within the county. Escambia County hopes to fill dozens of vacant positions with a job fair. The county says they really want to fill the vacancies in the fire department and mass transit. Career source Escarosa says that 42 people were pre-registered for Thursday's event. 46 showed up for county jobs. 47 pre-registered, 46 actually showed up. Oh, they wish it was higher. No word on how many hires were actually made. Probably none yet. You have to go through some processes. You got to take a P test. The human resources representative from Escambia County says the biggest challenge in finding applicants is pay and benefits. And there's other jobs out there. So here's my recommendation. You reach out to conservatives in liberal states. where the taxes are high, all that. The rural communities, the conservative folks in those liberal states, and woo them. And woo them. Help them with the move. Get them down here. Why should they show up for county jobs when they have government jobs like unemployment? Well, that's about to go away, Christy. I agree, but that's about to go away. Send in your resume. Well, you know what? Is your credit score too high or too low? But the thing is, right now, probably they'd hire warm bodies if you showed up. That's the thing with most of these jobs. So, look, you've got DeSantis, who now requires that you have to get unemployment in Florida, you have to have five job hunts a week. 5 job hunts a week. And if you don't do that, then you don't get your money. Well, here's the thing. If you show up, you have to be the worst. You have to smell like a dumpster and look like you crawled out of one to not get a job right now. Do you understand what I'm telling you? No, I'm not laughing at you, Jason. I understand. But you can, I'm telling you what, you can get a job. You can get a job. And I'm telling you what, the county would probably hire warm bodies. Unless it's something like you need an engineering degree. But they are taking people. And I get it. Show up. If you don't have a job right now, you don't want a job. And that's just the way it is. There are that many jobs out there. Now, it may not be the job you are wanting, but it will pay the bills. We've been looking for a part-time person for weeks now at the childcare facility I work at. Yep. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. I get you, Lauren. It's a thing. I deal with preschools. And yes, you're correct. I hear that a lot. She's going to go to school now. Behavioral science. Oh, good for you. I'd be an interesting study. 850-771-0049. Jason, hang on, buddy. You'll be all right. What else is going on? All right. Let's get rid of that. A motorcycle stunt rider died from injuries he sustained while attempting to break a world record motorcycle jump in Washington State. Alex Harville was attempting to jump the length of a football field on his motorcycle during a performance for the Moses Lake Air Show when he crashed. The footage showed Harville launching his bike off a ramp, flying through the air, and landing on a dirt mound a few feet from where he would have been in the clear. He missed the mark. He went flying over the handlebars and tumbled across the top of the dirt mound before slamming to a stop. He was taken to the hospital, but he died later. He was 28. Just had his second baby. His wife had his second baby. He didn't. That would hurt. Yeah. Christine says, how can all these people draw unemployment for this long when you have to work so many quarters? Well, it's because of COVID. That's why. Everything went out the window with COVID. No rules. Yeah, voting rules went out the window with COVID. I had the video of the motorcycle accident. You couldn't really tell what was going on. It was so far away, but it was pretty bad. All right, so this this woman, yeah, look at those eyes. Woo. A Tennessee woman was arrested Tuesday after she was found partially naked and using an axe inside of a Walmart. Officers in Knoxville responded to the giant retailer after a caller said a naked woman was throwing items at employees and defecated on herself. Meth. Nashia Brown, 35, was found inside the sporting goods section with an axe and a knife tucked into her bra, because that's where you carry your knives. The officers ordered her to drop the axe, but she allegedly refused to comply. And one officer attempted to use a taser, but it was ineffective. Meth. Another officer used their taser, and Brown was taken into custody. She's charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and vandalism up to $1,000. Look at that face. Oh my. That come down is going to be bad. That's going to be a bad one. 850-771-0049. She looks like she's on medical marijuana. Nope, it's meth. When you act like that, that's meth. Oh my. She's got it. Careful. She's got a knife tucked into her bra. People. Makes me smile. That's a face a mother could love. Only a mother could love. I don't even know about that. I don't know about that. All right. Let's continue. Despite the fact that they've been vaccinated, more than 350 doctors and medical workers in Indonesia have caught COVID-19, and dozens of them have been hospitalized. These are people that have the vaccine. Reuters, which cited officials concerned about the effectiveness of the Sinovac vaccine, it was developed by a Chinese pharmaceutical company. The outlet said most of the infected healthcare workers were asymptomatic and self-isolating at home. But those who've been hospitalized had high fevers and declining oxygen saturation levels. Indonesia healthcare workers were designated a high priority group for vaccinations and were among the first to receive them in January. Almost all of them received the vaccine from Chinese biopharmaceutical company Sinovac. Indonesia, that's according to Indonesia Medical Association. So they've had the vaccine. 350 of them have contracted coronavirus, the COVID-19, and many of them have been hospitalized. Hear this. As are the rest of them, Ty. Just being honest. They don't know. Wisconsin Assembly had planned to vote on Wednesday on a Republican-backed bill that would prohibit businesses, colleges, and universities, governments, and anyone else in the state from requiring proof of COVID-19 vaccination. Let's do that here. Governor DeSantis, we need this. The measure banning so-called vaccine passports must also pass the Senate and be signed by Democratic Governor Tony Evers before becoming law. Evers has signaled that he will veto the bill. That's sad. It's supported by a Wisconsin group that opposes mandating vaccines and the anti-abortion group Pro-Life Wisconsin. Opponents include the Wisconsin Medical Society, Wisconsin Public Health Association, and the Wisconsin Association of Local Health Departments and Boards. You should not have to require or have to prove that you've been vaccinated. The Chinese do. If 350 people get arrested naked with axes and bras, we'll know what happened. Meth in a vaccine. I guess that's what you're saying. Approximately 200,000 people in the United States have died from complications stemming from the Chinese coronavirus before President Joe Biden's first 5 months in office. More than half the coronavirus deaths seen during former President Donald Trump's tenure in the White House. An estimated 401 people in the U.S. died due to complications from the coronavirus, and now has surpassed 600,000 deaths, bringing that number to approximately 600,012. That's according to stats provided by Hopkins University. The U.S. has suffered more than half the coronavirus deaths seen under Trump in less than 5 months of Biden's administration. Biden is mass killing people with COVID. And the reason I said it that way is because that's what the left would say or has said about Trump. Look at how many people Biden has killed with coronavirus. I know with requiring vaccines. Yes, because I went to a store in Milton yesterday and was told if I couldn't prove I'd been vaccinated, I need to wear a mask. Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. Angela, instant message me that business, if you would, please. I'd appreciate it. 850-771-0049. The ship, the Odyssey of the Seas, seems to be snake bit. It was initially supposed to sail from Haifa, Israel on June 2nd, but that trip was canceled due to unrest in the region. They decided to try again on July 3rd, disembarking from Port Everglades. And now that's been canceled. Now, the reason being, because there was a bunch of positive tests for COVID among the crew. But here's the thing. All of the crew had been vaccinated. All the crew had been vaccinated. But not fully vaccinated. Hold on, listen to the timeline. During routine testing, 8 crew members received a positive test for COVID-19. Company CEO Michael Bailey said in a statement, all 1,400 crew on board Odyssey of the Seas were vaccinated on June 4th and will be considered fully vaccinated on June 18th. That's today. Out of the 8 cases, 6 people were asymptomatic. 2 had mild symptoms, he said. All who tested positive for COVID-19, as well as hundreds of other crew members, are under quarantine and being monitored by a medical team. The Odyssey of the Seas inaugural sailings, originally scheduled for July 3rd, is now set for July 31st. The only way from getting a shot to being fully vaccinated in the span of 2 weeks is if you had the Johnson & Johnson, but that's less effective at preventing infection, at least initially. There you go. There you go. So, Angela, they want to know because they're going to boycott the store. So, you're getting news of all these people who've been vaccinated. They've been vaccinated, yet they are still getting infected and getting sick. Why? Because it's an unproven, untested vaccine. Oh, look at the numbers going down because people are getting the vaccine. That's not quite it. It was on its way out anyway. It was on the decline anyway. And you don't have that many people that have been vaccinated to make that big of a difference. 850-771-0049. Harbor Freight did that. Really? I find that interesting. I find that very interesting. Avoid Harbor Freight or just go in and force them. Force their hand. It doesn't make a difference. I think Bell's sign says, if you've had the vaccine, wear a mask. It doesn't make it. Just go in. What are they going to do? Ask you? Yeah, I've had a vaccine. You don't need to see which one. I went in there without mine. No one said a word. It depends on the person. Depends on the store, I guess. Target requests mask be worn if you are unvaccinated. Yep. Just do it. The employees there will tell you they are required to wear a mask. Yeah. I get it. It was stores requiring employees to do it. Dollar General has those signs up, but none of their business. I'm American. Yep. Tools from China. Are you talking about the people or the tools? Or the actual equipment? Are we still in a pandemic? It depends on who you ask. Fauci will say yes. Well, it could be. It depends on the store, Kim. Last time with the Harbor Freight, they did not tell me I had to wear a mask. I was maskless. I go in everywhere maskless. Nobody's requiring it anymore that I've seen. And if they do, I go in without it. I have it in my hand. Okay. Doctors' offices will. I carry it in my hand. If they say something about it, I put it on. And then when we're done, I take it off. That's it. Fauci, yeah. In the form of a hat. In the form of a hat. Identify as vaccinated. Yes, Dave, Amy. I think it's Amy. Identify as vaccinated, yeah. All right, 850-771-0049. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, a former White House physician, called on President Biden to immediately undergo a cognitive test so the commander-in-chief can prove to the American public sound mental capabilities. I want to show this from yesterday. This is part of the reason that they're concerned.
And I've said before, and I apologize to repeat, I didn't have to take television and take a massive security advisor. I'm leaving out a lot of people here. I apologize. I'm going to get in trouble. But anyway, we'll get back to that. But there's a lot that is
Thought. Why don't they have a piece in his ear and whisper to him? You know he's got a hearing aid, so they could just whisper, "Hey, say this," but they don't. He is so addled. Yeah. So we can't sit on this any longer, Jackson told Hannity on Thursday night. Biden's embarrassing performance overseas this weekend with world leaders. The freshman Texas congressman and 13 of his GOP colleagues sent a letter to Biden Thursday expressing concern with his cognitive state and cited several examples of potential memory lapses, including apparently forgetting the name of his defense secretary, telling an Amtrak story with a timeline that didn't add up, and seemingly blanking on the often quoted first line of the Declaration of Independence. Unfortunately, your mental decline and forgetfulness have become more apparent over the last 18 months. That's the call now. That's the call. Get a cognitive test. Podcast juggernaut Joe Rogan blasted CNN's left-wing media guru Brian Stetler on Thursday in this installment of the Joe Rogan Experience. During a sit-down with progressive commentator Kyle Kulinski, Rogan recalled a panel discussion on CNN's reliable sources back in January when a guest sounded the alarm that certain YouTube personalities don't have more viewers. Sounded the alarm that certain YouTube viewer personalities have more viewers than CNN. I'll get it right. YouTubers have more viewers than CNN. Got it. As if it was some horrible thing. They didn't understand that the way that they were describing it, Rogan said. They were describing it as if they were entitled to viewers. They were saying, there are people on YouTube right now that get more views than this show. This is because the market has spoken and your show is blanking terrible. Brian Stetler's show keeps slipping and slipping and slipping in the ratings. He's the worst, Kulinski added. So is Don Lemons. It's the same thing, Rogan continued. Everyone knows they're not real. They're not real humans. Kulinski knocked Stetler for outright calling for censorship under the guise of combating the spread of conspiracy theories, which the commentator said Stetler and others use that for blanking everything. Rogan then dragged CNN host for his sycophantic interview with the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, who he infamously asked what the media gets wrong when concerning the Biden administration. How about Brian Stetler talking to press secretary, what are we doing wrong? And what are we doing wrong? Like, hey, you blank, you're supposed to be a journalist. And they wonder why they have no views, Kulinski said. The liberals are calling them out. That is wild. That is wild. And CNN is stinking in the ratings. The View co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg and Meghan McCain clashed on Thursday during a heated discussion over President Biden's treatment of the press following his summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The discussion, which revolved around Biden's lashing out at a CNN reporter, Caitlin Collins, after she asked him a question, deteriorated as Goldberg angered McCain by comparing Biden's clashes with the press to former Secretary Donald Trump's. Check this out.
Well, it's the press's job to speak truth to power. And just because Biden has gotten a pass so far, which he has and continues to do, it is in no one's best interest to treat him like it's state TV. And as Sarah pointed out, that is the biggest difference between us and Russia.
Yes. Well, to just comment on that. Yeah. The thing that I never saw Trump do was apologize to anybody. And I will take it when you know, because sometimes I'm rude to somebody. We're all like that.
I don't care.
I just want to let me just finish what I'm saying.
Well, with all due respect, I don't care if he's apologizing. He just embarrassed himself.
I don't care that you don't care. Just hear what I'm saying.
I don't care that you don't care.
We're going to go. We're going to go.
Well, I don't care that you don't care. That I don't care.
Then good, Megan. Then you can be how you always are. We'll be right back.
You can be how you always are.
The Ugly Woman Show. The View. But so when Meghan McCain is sticking up for Trump, but for once, Meghan McCain is correct. Biden does get a pass. And that wasn't a hard question. The question was, why are you so confident? Why do you feel confident that Russia's going to, he goes like, I never said I felt confident. What do you do all day? Because he didn't have an answer. That's what he does. He snaps when he doesn't have an answer. And the left, if this was Trump, they would have eaten him up. But it's Biden, so they defend him. Interesting. President Joe Biden signed legislation on Thursday making Juneteenth, which is June 19th, a national holiday commemorating the end of slavery in America. I've only been president for several months. So they tell me. I've only been president for several months, but I think this will go down for me as one of the greatest honors I will have had as a president. Not because I did it, you did it, Democrats and Republicans. Federal lawmakers overwhelmingly supported the bill, with the Senate passing via unanimous consent and only 14 House members, all Republicans, voting against the measure. Now, so Juneteenth is tomorrow. It's a federal holiday, and so a lot of people are taking it today. There you go. I'm not opposed to Juneteenth, but it just seems kind of weird the way they're doing it. Just saying. Happy Juneteenth. With a stroke of his pen, Missouri Governor Mike Parson made the Show Me state a sanctuary from federal gun laws. No longer will Missouri law enforcement officials be allowed to enforce or help the feds enforce federal firearm rules. But the move's not sitting well with President Joe Biden's Department of Justice, which made its displeasure known in a letter to Parson this week, telling the governor that a state does not have the authority to prevent the enforcement of federal law. Much like cities and states that have declared they will not enforce federal immigration laws, Missouri has declared it will protect the citizens from what it sees as federal overreach when it comes to gun rights. The Second Amendment Preservation Act prohibits police from enforcing or assisting federal authorities in enforcing federal gun rules. It also allows for anyone who believes his Second Amendment rights were violated by an officer enforcing federal laws to sue relevant police department for $50,000. When Parson, a former sheriff, signed the bill into law, he said he was sending a message to the feds in response to increased federal gun control regulations that are being pushed by the Biden administration. We're going to do things to make sure you don't overreach your authority from the federal government, he said. In a letter sent Wednesday night, the AP said Justice Department officials told Missouri's elected leadership that the U.S. Constitution's Supremacy Clause supersedes Missouri's laws. Acting Assistant Attorney Brian Boynton said the letter that the new law threatens to disrupt working relationship between federal and local authorities. The public safety of the people of the United States and citizens of Missouri is paramount, Boynton wrote. According to the DOJ, Missouri lacks any authority to shield Missourians from federal law or to prevent law enforcement from carrying out federal laws. It's on. It is on. It's also National Martini Day. Thank you, Cassandra. It's probably also National Pickle Day. It happens that way. Several altogether. Public documents show President Joe Biden's brother, Frank Biden, was caught speeding in Florida and received no punishment. And another example of how the Biden family lives above the law. Court video reveals the case was dismissed June 16th because of the ticketing police officer was absent from the hearing attending police training. The officer was conveniently absent due to police training. It began May 15th and ended June 17th, the day after the hearing. That's a coincidence. Yes? The traffic stop occurred in January 2021, and justice was not served. This is interesting. National faith-based organization Catholic Vote released a survey on Wednesday that found 74% of Catholics who regularly attend Mass say Catholic politicians who oppose the church's teachings should not receive Holy Communion. Brian Birch, the president of Catholic Vote, said in a statement, politicians who claim to be Catholic but then promote policies the church considers to be gravely immoral serve to create confusion and discord among believers. Results of the survey are published as President Joe Biden, a self-described Catholic, has visited the Vatican, and U.S. Catholic bishops are meeting to weigh the question of whether Catholic politicians who support abortion, same-sex marriage, euthanasia, and other policies that are in conflict with the church's teaching should receive communion. Now, the Catholics concerned about the flouting of Catholic social teaching by public leaders is less about politics and more about the integrity of the faith. The data is very clear. Bishops have an obligation to act. Here's what they found. The poll results found 83% of Catholics who regularly attend Mass believe Catholic public officials who promote policies that violate church teachings create confusion and disunity. You think? You think? If you were a everyday Catholic, a regularly attending Catholic, and you promoted abortion or same-sex marriage or whatever it is, would they give you communion? Probably not. Maybe it depends on how much money you give. I don't know. Additionally, the survey revealed 88% of Catholics who are regular churchgoers say it's important for Catholic bishops to teach and lead others in the matters of the faith, including those who are public officials and other people in influential or powerful positions. So no matter who you are, the faith is more important than your position. Similarly, 87% of this group said a bishop should defend the teachings of the church. Yes, even though some Catholics may disagree with them. And 82% believe public officials who identify as Catholic but openly promote policies that violate church teachings are hypocritical. You think? You think? It's coming down to it, my friends. There's going to be a breaking point. Should these people be excommunicated? Yeah, and the answer is yes. I just, the faithful I've had it. They've had it. These people don't get a pass. I don't care who they are. They don't get a pass. According to analytics provided by Nielsen Media Research, MSNBC's Nicole Wallace 4 p.m. show Deadline has seen nearly 80% drop in viewership. 80% drop since January 2021. At the end of May, just 147,000 non-geriatrics above the age of 25 turned into her 2-hour MSNBC program per day. Although Wallace has worked hard to channel her previous experience as a White House press secretary into his role as an unofficial spokesperson for the Democratic Party, it's been abysmal. Her total viewership of the month of May is less than half of her total viewership in January. A drop of 80%. What does that tell you? You're seeing CNN less than a 750,000. And you have these people that keep pushing the line, and nobody, they're not succeeding. Fox is beating them by CNN and MSNBC combined. And why is that? Why is that? What is One America doing? What is Newsmax doing? I want to know what those ratings are. Because we're seeing this trend of people shunning. They are not getting accurate news. Maureen, that is correct. He is not the author of confusion. And there's much confusion with these supposed Catholic Democrats. To be a good Democrat, hear me, to be a good Democrat, you cannot be a good Christian or a good Catholic. You can argue that point with me, and you'll lose. Now, I'm not saying the Republican Party is God's party. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the biblical beliefs, Christian beliefs, Catholic beliefs are not in line at all with the Democratic Party. And you can't be a good Democrat and be a good Christian or a good Catholic. You're welcome. MSNBC spew lies. Well, yeah. And so does CNN. That's what Joe Rogan and this liberal Kalinsky was saying. They're terrible. What happened? And Fox is guilty of this too. Just give me news. Remember when headline news first started out? You got the news in 15 minutes, right? In 15 minutes, you had the whole thing. They didn't have time for spin. Headline news doesn't even do that anymore. They're showing crime shows. What happened to just give me the news? Now, Walter Cronkite was a liberal. But just give me the news. What happened to that? They can't do it. They can't do it. I just want someone, give me news. I don't want your opinion in it. Here are the facts. And let it lay at that. But they can't do it. They've got to push an agenda. And it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. Yeah, absolutely. DeSantis stepped up on that for sure. So, the Democrats are being called out by the Catholics. The Democrats are being called out by liberals. They know that they're losing. They're going to lose the House, they're going to lose the Senate in 2022. Unless they change the voting laws, which they're trying to ram that through. There's no other way for them to win. They're going to try to do reconciliation to run a $6 trillion package through. $6 trillion. That, my friends, is a big matzo ball. And that is a dangerous place to be. When the Democrats are at odds with the liberals, the Catholics, the Jewish community, anybody else except the extreme progressive then you've got a problem. You got a problem. All right, my friends. I wonder if Biden will relent to an actual cognitive test. We will see. Will they have a special one just for him? All right, kids. let's have a good weekend. I am, as a program note, I am out next week. I'm traveling, so I won't be here, and I apologize. There's no way. I may do some updates, just kind of drop-ins, talk about some stuff, but I won't be able to be here in the morning, so just keep that in mind. But God bless you. Like the video, share the video. We will see you in a week. All right. God bless. Have a great day. Stay strong.